Felicitous greetings, fellow fanatics. Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to 2021. I'm Fanatic, and today we're going to be taking a look at ZU Tiles Hime by ZU Studios. ZU, short for Zodiac United, plays very much like a reimagining of the trading card game genre. Before the game, each player will construct a deck of up to 50 tiles, dividing them into 5 stacks as evenly as possible. They'll then draw 5 tiles and be ready to go. Unlike your typical TCG, combat is not the sole or even primary focus of the game. While you can capture enemy tiles in battle and score points for doing so, the main way of scoring points is by completing squares of compatible creatures. Each creature represents one of the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac. In the first starter set, we find half the creatures represented. One deck consisting of the dog, horse, and tiger, and the other representing the pig, rabbit, and ram. Along the sides of each creature, you'll see symbols for other creatures, and sometimes even themselves. This shows which creatures they are compatible with. When any 4 creatures touch each other to form a square, you check adjacent creatures to see if they're compatible. In this case, we can see that the pig is compatible with the tiger and the ram is compatible with the horse and the horse is compatible with the ram and the tiger is compatible with the horse and the pig. If you were paying attention, you may have already noticed that 2 of these are from one deck and the other 2 from the opposing deck. As long as creatures are compatible, they can still score, with whichever player finished the square claiming all 4 creatures for their victory pile. Players continue to try and match tiles or fight one another in order to score until one player reaches 12 points to claim victory. On a player's turn, they may take one of 5 actions. Firstly, they may play a tile with strength and intelligence. This will typically be a creature, but can also be an item or an obstacle if appropriate. If there's no other tiles in play, you set it in the center of the table. Otherwise, you must place it orthogonally adjacent to another tile on the field. Keep in mind that a creature does not have to be compatible in order to place it next to another. Secondly, they may start up to 2 action stacks. I'll get to that in a little bit. Thirdly, you may begin a battle, which again will be discussed in more detail in a moment. Finally, you may discard 2 tiles in order to draw 1. You may take these actions in any order you desire and skip any number you are unable or unwilling to take. At the end of your turn, you draw a single tile, or 2 if you took no actions during your turn, and play passes to your opponent. In addition to creatures, items, and obstacles, you'll also have action and reaction tiles, and even some that can be used as either at a player's leisure. To start an action stack, a player chooses an action tile from their hand and places it face up on the table. At that point, starting with the player opposite the one who played the action, each player may play reaction tiles until both players have passed consecutively. When neither player wishes to play any further reactions, resolve the stack starting with the tile on top and working your way down to the one that started it all. If you're familiar with chains in Yu-Gi-Oh, you'll find that this works in a similar but simplified manner. Then we come to combat. To start combat, you must have at least 1 creature adjacent to an enemy creature. You declare which creature is initiating an attack and who they are attacking. You then take any 1 tile from your hand and start an action stack with it face down. Players then start using reactions just as they would with a normal action stack. However, the initiating tile has no effect other than triggering the battle, even if it is an action. If for any reason at that point the attacker and defender are no longer adjacent, perhaps because the defender moved somehow, then the battle does not take place. If they are still adjacent, then the players add up the strength and intelligence of all creatures engaged in the battle. If either player has any tiles adjacent to the defending creature, they'll add their values to their side and are considered an ally for the battle. After totaling up values, if one player beats the other in both total strength and intelligence, that player wins the combat, and all participating enemy creatures are put in their score pile. If either of the values are tied, or if one player wins out in one and the other player wins out in the other, the battle is a stalemate, and all creatures remain in the play area without any effect. Of course, the real meat of any game like this comes not from the rules themselves, but rather from the abilities on the tiles and how they interact with one another. And ZU Tiles is no exception. You'll have tiles that can aid in combat, either by letting you move your creatures, or by changing strengths and weaknesses. You'll have tiles which can surprise an unwary opponent, and you'll have ways to level an uneven playing field and bring things back into your favor. ZU Tiles is eventually meant to be expandable in TCG-like fashion. As it stands now, there's a single starter set out, with a second set representing the other half of the Chinese zodiac intended to release in the spring. After that, ZU Studios intends to release booster packs of 2 tiles each, aiming for a price of $1 per pack. Please keep in mind that all information about future releases is tentative and subject to change. Currently, you can buy sleeves for your tiles in either white or purple. Keep in mind that I don't typically sleeve my cards, so take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt, but they are of decent thickness and they are textured on the back for an easier grip. If you're interested in trying ZU Tiles Hime before you buy it, ZU Studios has uploaded free digital versions of the game for you to try on both Tabletop Simulator and Tabletopia. As those of you familiar with my channel are already aware, I prefer Tabletop Simulator myself, but more options is always a good thing. In conclusion, ZU Tiles Hime is a very unique take on the TCG genre. Or would that be TCT here? Unlike games like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon, which try to compete with Magic on its own land, ZU Tiles forgoes many conventions of the genres and tries to be something truly unique in a sea of copycats. And for the most part, it does this pretty well. The tile placement and area control mechanics make this game wildly different from the staples of the genre. There are multiple paths you can take to scoring the points you need for victory, and the fact you can use your opponent's tiles to do it opens up a lot of interesting strategies. On the downside, there is a lack of variety at the moment, as there's only a single starter set available. This is intended to be fixed soon, but it is still a hindrance for the time being. There's also the issue of storage. Everything is packed to the brim in this box, and getting things back in is difficult at best, and outright impossible if you decide to sleeve your tiles. Nevertheless, even with just the starter set, ZU Tiles is a unique and interesting experience worthy of a respectable 8.4 out of 10. If you're interested in purchasing ZU Tiles Hime, ZU Studios has asked me to encourage you to reach out to your friendly local game store and see if they can order it in stock. As someone who appreciates what our FLGS has done for me as a gamer, I'm certainly not going to refuse that request. If you're unable to get to a game store, or simply wish to learn more, links are included in the description as usual. But what about you? What do you think of ZU Tiles? Which Chinese zodiac sign do you most look forward to playing as? If you got any questions, remarks, or opposing points of view, leave them in the comments down below, and please remember to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell. Until next time, farewell, fellow fanatics. Thank you again for watching. I have plenty more to share with you if you're interested. You can click up here above my head to subscribe to my channel. You can click over here on my monitor to see the most recent video that I've worked on. Or if you prefer, you can click up here to open this mysterious vault and see what video that the YouTube algorithm has picked just for you.